Humans aren't born out of laying around on their asses. We're the dominant species. We built all this. We're powerful and we're beautiful and we're ready to build the next level of civilization in God's plan. If you love God and you want to build a pro-human future, you must become the victor. But you have to believe in yourself first. This is the truth, and everyone knows it.
So, ladies and gentlemen, every once in a while, in fact, quite often, I get people that send me emails. My email is in my YouTube bio. It's fanadvocacynetwork@gmail.com. I get people that send me emails, whether it be tips, information, news stories, whether they liked a video or didn't like a video. I get quite a bit of feedback on my content. And people will obviously go to the comments section or go to my YouTube community tab, but sometimes they want to send me a message in private for whatever reason. And we're going to read an email from somebody that reached out to me because I think it was a great email. I think it was absolutely spot on. And I just want to highlight this. I'm not going to mention their name because I don't have permission to. I will never put out your personal information ever unless I have permission. That is rule 1 and that is rule 10. I mean, that is just never going to happen. I will never leak DMs, by the way, unless I'm being accused of something egregious. In that case, I would suspend the rule, but that would have to be unbelievably tense. So I want to talk about the situation with Hassan on the Trash Taste podcast. I did a video on this. And in the comments, and even in my email, I received people who were not happy because I criticized CDawgVA and they were a fan of Iron Mouse and CDawgVA. Let me just say, genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, I don't care. I do not care. I don't care that you were triggered that I criticized somebody that you liked on the internet. CDawgVA is a big boy. He can take it. Believe me, that was very, very, very tepid as it relates to the severity of my ire and my wrath. Believe me. But what I will say is that I think what CDawgVA has done in the past and is doing by trying to normalize Hassan is indefensible. I think collabing with Hassan is indefensible at this point. And I know that some people will say, well, you're not going to tell me, you're not going to tell me who I can and cannot collab with. No, absolutely. You're right. I'm not going to stop you from making one of the worst decisions of your career. In fact, Theo Vaughn, of all people, is currently going through it because he thought, well, I'm going to bring Hassan on. He's getting pilloried on the internet. Theo Vaughn, of all people. Why? Because he brought on Hassan and he did a softball, limp dick, limp-wristed interview where he didn't ask him about the support of terrorists. He didn't ask him about killing, hey, I'm going to kill Rick Scott. Didn't ask him about any of the hard-hitting things that you would ask a terrorist-sympathizing, subhuman, degenerate, bottom-feeding piece of shit like Hassan. And I think that gets to the heart of the matter. CDawgVA wanted to bring on Hassan to Trash Taste, and the other people did as well, and then treat Hassan like he's a neutral figure. No. You don't bring on one of the most divisive and disgusting and subhuman content creators on the internet and then just play it off like it's nothing. Now, some of you may think that I'm being a little hyperbolic with Hassan, but I'm actually reserving myself quite a bit. This is a person that brought somebody onto his show who is a literal terrorist, not a figurative terrorist, a literal terrorist, and glazed him and said, you're basically made in the image of Luffy. You're what Luffy would do. So Luffy, from the mind of Hassan, which is a mind that is, I don't know if it's drug-addled, I don't know if it's several generations of inbreeding, I don't know what on earth could have coalesced together. I don't know what sin humanity committed for God to allow the creation of Hassan to go through. But this guy takes One Piece, a beloved franchise, and says, no, the main character, he's embodied in this terrorist who kills and rapes people. Who says death to Israel, who says death to America, death to Jews. No, you do not get a pass because you hang out with Iron Mouse or you do work for the IDF, not the Israeli Defense Force, the Immune Deficiency Fund. You don't get a pass. All right? Is that clear? Is that clear enough for the people that are irritated? You are judged by the people that you have around you. And when you surround yourself with a terrorist and then try to downplay it as, oh, the internet is just drama, they want the drama, and do they, mate? A bottle of water? Yeah, no. You bring on a terrorist sympathizer, a terrorist supporter, a man who has on screen laughed at the corpses of dead children. That's not hyperbole. Those videos are out there. Many people have done a response to that. Asmongold and Nuxtaku, obviously not the usual suspects like Ludwig or Moist Critical, because they would never do a video critical of Hassan. But yeah, you don't get to bring on a terrorist like Hassan, a genuinely evil human being, and then not have criticism. So, that being said, let's get to this email. He says, hi there. I've been watching your YouTube videos for a while now, and have enjoyed them. I like how you are telling things how you see them, and not trying to be fake to cater to the audience. I can promise you that's never going to change. Ever. It's always good to be truthful and transparent, in my humble opinion. Thank you for always being genuine about your takes in your videos. Anyway, I just wanted to add my 2 cents about the Hassan / Trash Taste podcast incident. Just like you, I found CDawgVA / Connor's response to the backlash weak at best. He's just skirting around the issue by saying things that will appease his loyal fans or people who are blinded by popular fan / supporter opinions. He claims he doesn't use and engage with Twitter / X anymore, so he was unaware about the controversy surrounding Hassan. This person says, I call bullshit on that, and I agree 100%. That was actually what I was going to say. I call bullshit on that. He absolutely knows. He absolutely knows. They all know. They're playing dumb. Like, this is the thing. This is why I detest, to my very core, content creator culture. Because in different ways, they're all fake. Now, I don't think that CDawgVA is fake in the same way that some of these other people are fake. I think that there is an air of authenticity around Connor, which people do like. However, there are moments like this where he tries to play neutral that you can't. If I bring Osama bin Laden on my stream, if Osama bin Laden is resurrected and I bring him on my stream, I don't get to, I didn't have internet back in 2001. I didn't know that, he orchestrated, I didn't know he orchestrated 9/11. I can't really, I can't be held accountable. No. That doesn't work. I don't get to make that sort of limp dick pathetic request or defense and just write off with it. I have never used Twitter and most likely never will, yet I know a ton about what Hassan has said and what ridiculous thing he promotes. Even being on YouTube semi-frequently, you would get bombarded by controversies about Hassan and the absolute dislike / hate for him by many people. That's true. There's no way that he didn't know. I'll just say, there is zero possibility that he didn't know about these things going on, but he didn't care. Because he's friendly with Hassan, he knows Hassan, he's friends with Hassan, and he's friends with Ludwig, who's friends with Hassan. His circle is friendly with Hassan. Now, they are not politically neutral. A lot of them are left-wing, extremely left-wing. They have an anti-Trump bias. These are people that supported Black Lives Matter. These are people that supported LGBTQ. These are people that supported any sort of degeneracy, any sort of brain-rotted, demented group that came up if it made them look good. So, these are people that are perfectly aware of what's going on, perfectly aware of how radioactive Hassan is, and they didn't care. They thought it'll be clicks, it'll be views, Hassan has a rabid fan base, maybe they'll scare people away, we can get away with this like we used to in the past. Well, no, things have changed. Hassan is more radioactive than ever. There's no way he doesn't know, because there was that whole kerfuffle with Asmongold. Like, you would have to believe that Connor was living as a monk for like several months and didn't have access to the internet. I guarantee you he knew. They all knew. They just didn't care. They just did not care because all of their friends are friends with Hassan. It's sort of like people in Hollywood. They knew about Harvey Weinstein. They knew about Harvey Weinstein. They went to parties with him. You know, they obviously had, relations with him. It continued on. They worked with him. They knew the whole time. They continued on as if nothing happened until it became too difficult to collab with him. And he was prosecuted, and he's in jail. And then, Harvey Weinstein is the worst he's ever been. But some people in Hollywood still don't call out Harvey Weinstein. They still don't. And unfortunately, people like me and people like Nuxtaku will call out Hassan. But most people won't. Most people won't call out Hassan. Most people won't address any of this. You think Moist Critical is going to do a video? Hey guys, Moist Critical here. Yeah, we're here to talk about one of the biggest troglodytes on the internet, Hassan Piker. Man, can you believe this guy? This absolute terrorist-supporting retard. This guy actually laughed at the corpses of dead children, which is one of the most inexcusable things I've ever seen. I've not been this disappointed since I found out that they canceled SpongeBob. Like, you're never going to get that sort of commentary. You're never going to get that sort of honesty, which is, again, one of the reasons why I hate streamers. You mean to tell me that Ludwig and Moist Critical and all these people, they're not going to mention the fact that one of their own... They'll do a video on Dr. Disrespect and that bullshit blown out of the water allegations. It's like that whole thing, which is a complete and total hoax. Complete and total bullshit. Nothing on that makes sense. But Hassan will record himself glazing terrorists, and Moist Critical will say nothing. Like, he'll talk about Johnny Somali, but he won't talk about Hassan. It's baffling. Hassan brings on a literal terrorist, glazes him on stream. Like, and I'm not just talking about like, I kind of agree with you. He actually glazes a terrorist full on, full bore. Unreal. It really is unreal. Anyway, um, I absolutely dislike slash hate him. Wait, hold on. I have never used Twitter frequently, and the absolute just say. But for someone who has a massive following on Twitch, where Hassan also streams, and how many famous streamers he knows, there's no way Connor doesn't know the things that are going on about Hassan. You've got to be absolutely clueless or ignorant, or maybe both, if you try to claim you knew nothing about Hassan and his controversies and bad reputation. In my opinion, I think Connor is acting this way in regards to this backlash because of how popular and famous he is on the internet, and that he knows a lot of other famous streamers that he can maybe hide behind or ask for help if things get way too out of hand. For example, I think he thinks knowing and being really close to somebody like Iron Mouse, of course, no offense or hate towards her, I think she's a great VTuber, and I like her and what she does, kind of gives him a sort of safety net from harsh criticism and backlash when things go wrong. You are absolutely correct. You are absolutely correct. And that's what I received in terms of backlash for that video, is people who like Iron Mouse defending CDawgVA against my criticism, which I thought was very, very reserved. But you're absolutely right. I'm not saying that he does this intentionally, necessarily. He very well could. I mean, listen, I'll just be honest. If you're friends with Hassan, if you collab with Hassan, whatever I may have thought about you as a person, you immediately lose points. A lot of points. Because if you're okay teaming up with, putting your brand behind, putting your name with a person like that, I immediately think less of you. So yes, absolutely, Iron Mouse is a human shield for Connor. There's no question about that. That's not controversial at all. It's a reality. He has done so much stuff with her. He's used her popularity and her momentum recently to sort of shield himself. Absolutely. And so there are people that are like, well, I'm fans of Iron Mouse and somebody's being critical of Connor, so I'm going to defend him. Absolutely. Now, I think that's a very astute observation. Let's see. It's not a stretch to say he got a lot more popular and more well-liked after he started collabing and getting to know her better. Yeah, no, that's true. You didn't really hear about Connor much before that. At least I didn't. I remember, this may be dating myself, but I remember when Iron Mouse and Nux Taku, everyone thought they were dating because they collabed all the time. And so, yeah, but Iron Mouse basically dumped Nux Taku for Connor. I'm not talking in terms of like actual relationship. I'm talking about collabing and stuff like that. From what I've seen from Connor, he is your typical famous and popular streamer. He often goes with the flow, even if it may go against his true feelings, and cater to his fans and people who would support his decisions, opinions, and so on. So basically, he is fake in some aspects. True. I agree with that. When I say that content creators are fake, a lot of them are. But it doesn't mean that they're all fake in the same way. It doesn't mean that it's a universal, that, oh, they're all fake in this way. No, there are different elements about them that are inauthentic. And one of the reasons why my channel has done so well, is because I like to think that I have a common sense approach to this, but there is no sugarcoating on my channel at all. And whether you like what I have to say or you don't, you're getting the truth. Some people don't like the truth. It's tough to swallow. They've got a popular content creator. I'll make fun of them. I'll mock them for a bad decision, a poorly worded tweet, something. And they won't like that. They won't like that at all. And in the past, I've had that. I had that skirmish with Moist Critical, which sort of solidified what I'm talking about. The sort of fakeness, the phoniness, like, oh my God. I could do an entire series of videos on this. But it's like the way that these people conduct themselves. Like, for example, with Moist Critical, about a year ago, I think it's about a year ago, maybe 6 months, maybe 8 months, I did a video reacting to a video that Moist Critical did about an incident in a drive-thru where a man had his dog in the car. He wanted to get a pup cup at McDonald's, which is something that fast food restaurants typically do. They will sell you a little cup with whipped cream. This particular McDonald's, the woman who was the manager, or she was running the drive-thru, said, "No, we don't do that." And so the guy was a little bit taken aback. He's like, "I've been here before. They've done it. Like, can I just get this pup cup?" And so we got into an argument. By the end of it, he was absolutely in the wrong. There's no question about that. But in the intro, I said, yeah, it was a situation where the woman in the position of control should have sold him the pup cup. 50, 75 cents, little whipped cream in a cup for the dog. Absolutely. Should have done it, taken his money. And you had people in Moist Critical's audience, because he disagreed with that, coming up with the most absolutely brain-dead, retarded, convoluted, twist yourself up in a pretzel reasons why he shouldn't have had it. Oh, he doesn't deserve it. He's not entitled to that. She doesn't owe him anything. Well, if he asked her to twerk, what are you doing? These people were so genuinely brain-rotted and retarded, trying to defend one of their content creators that they like, that they came off as genuinely stupid. There's no other way around it. Well, Moist Critical saw that video and did a reaction. Now, did he reach out? Did he, say, "Hey, I'm going to do a video on you"? Did he have any sort of ethical standard at all? No. He called me a racist in that video because I mentioned the fact that the woman working behind the counter, to the surprise of absolutely no one who was being disagreeable, was black. Yeah, I mentioned that she was black. And Moist Critical was, "This guy's an absolute racist." That video still makes me laugh. It's just astonishing. And it really goes to show you the lack of etiquette on the internet. I make videos about people, but I usually, like on Twitter, when I publish the video, like when I premiere it on my YouTube, usually what I do is I will try to @ the person that I made the video about. No one ever responds. But if, for example, they ever reached out, I would be happy to debate or articulate my point of view to anyone at any time. And that's maybe the difference, is that I'm not like Moist Critical, who's apparently so retarded. And this isn't like an anti-Moist Critical video, although it kind of is deviated into that. But it sort of gets to the whole core of how fake these content creators are. Moist Critical had a debate with Sneeko. It was an impromptu debate. And Sneeko's position was against the age of consent. Which, there's no way you lose that. There's no way that you lose against somebody coming into an argument where they're saying that, yeah, you know what, maybe it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world if two families consented to an 18-year-old marrying a 12-year-old. Moist Critical pulled defeat from the jaws of victory because he was so retarded and so fake that he fell into a trap that Sneeko laid that actually put him in the morally reprehensible position of saying that Moist Critical believes that a 9-year-old should be able to consent to castration and gender-altering drugs and physical surgery, which is insane. And then, again, because Moist Critical is fake and these streamers are fake, when he was called out for it, he backtracked and said, hey, you troglodytes don't understand. That's not what I said. I don't believe that. I didn't say I believe that. I didn't know I was going to be in a debate. Like I've never walked into a debate and accidentally stumbled into a morally indefensible, evil position. But the thing is, it makes sense when you understand that Moist Critical is retarded, and also at the same time, he goes along with what the popular consensus is. So, for somebody like him, and these streamers, and Connor, they absolutely can walk face first into a morally indefensible position. They absolutely can. Because they're not actually thinking about it in terms of morality. They're thinking about it in terms of optics. How does this make me look? Moist Critical surrounds himself with people who are pro-trans, pro-degeneracy, just disgusting, abominable left-wing filth. So, for him, he thought that the better answer was, yes, these children should be able to commit this irreversible, indefensible, evil thing. And then after he got pushback, he goes, oh, well, that wasn't the right answer, so I'm going to change my answer. These content creators are fake. And I think Connor falls into that, but I think he falls into that under a different umbrella. Because, like I mentioned, Connor does come across as authentic and genuine. But there is a mountain of bullshit around him. And what he chooses not to say and what he chooses to say, who he collabs with, there is a mountain of bullshit. And that's fine. Because obviously people like that. They like him, they like his channel. But don't try to piss on me and tell me it's raining lemonade. Be authentic, be upfront. I think that's the best way to go about it. So in conclusion, so basically, he is fake in some aspects. Sure, there are some things that I think he is genuine and certain about, but for the most part, he has always come across as pretty artificial. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not a hater or anything, just an observation and expressing my opinion. Well, sorry for the wall text. I just want to say thank you for your honesty and give my opinion about the Hassan /StrataStage incident. Keep up the good work. Take it easy. Now, I picked this comment because I think that this email, first of all, I encourage people to send me anything you want about my videos or the perceptions, but I thought this was very well done. This is obviously somebody who had formed this opinion, came to their own conclusion, saw my video, reverberating off of that idea, And there's just call to, basically email to let me know. So I appreciate this email. I appreciate your input. And yeah, I agree with most of this. And I think that it's important that people out there understand that it's not just me. And I don't mean you guys watching this, because a lot of the people who watch my content do agree with this, but it's important for content creators like Connor out there to realize your bullshit doesn't work. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that'll do it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.